Welcome. This is my reaction to C-SPAN. It's question of the day, Jeff Sessions' statements of the week, and the discussion of states' rights and where a citizen stands with that. Me being a homeowner resident of the state of North Carolina, the county of Watauga, township of Todd. I am not liking this prohibition against independent civil liberty, first off. I think it can be adjusted with a progressive liberty system that the resident citizens fully graduate from at the age of 25. When they have full liberties and they have access that they've been looking forward to, they will make a more thoughtful and meaningful decision on what they're going to partake of. I'm thinking everything needs to be just adjusted a little bit. I'm trying to sell the world on a tax plan that will fully fund our exploration in the greenest avenues possible. I've been repeating myself for 5 or 6 years, and every time I get a device on camera or whatever, it glitches or I get on. It's just hard. And it's the one safe trade, transit, insurance, commerce, sales tax, appropriation, accountability, infrastructure, prepaid dividend bearing system, unlike we have now. This is how it would work. The bailout system that we use for the trucks and the cars and the stuff, for the auto industry, we're going to use that kind of a play, and we're going to buy all the insurance companies, move them into the public domain. We're going to phase out and implement over 50 to 75 year plan the current town, county, state, and federal government appropriation systems. We're going to replace them with a sales tax that's going to be minimal on the dollar. It's going to be minimal on every transaction. From the commodity coming off the farmer's land where he puts it on the truck, then it goes onto the road, there has to be a tax there from that transaction. That truck drives to a warehouse, unloads the commodity, produces another more finished commodity and ships it. Right there has to be a tax because he's using the utilities to travel that commerce on. And if we phase over to this concept, we can adjust to other civil things that are killing our chemistry as civil citizens. Okay, all we have to do is move the taxes of all these things here. We got 1 cent for insurance pool. We got another cent for transportation pool. We got another cent for security pool. And we got 1 cent for each of these pools that are necessary public civil utilities such as law enforcement and emergency responders and crisis relief. We need the crisis relief immediately because the whole country is infested and being with little interpreted governments all over the country circumventing the inalienable rights in which the U.S. Constitution refers to. Now, we need to reinforce the independent civil citizens to where they're able to be self-sustaining, because that is a movement. That is the most green way we can go about it. For our future generations, we have to stop driving the daily commute. That means we have to stop servicing all these things that exasperate bait our budget. Every time we go to work, we're spending a lot of money. It costs more to go to work than it does to stay home for a day. I guarantee you that. And anyhow, also what I see that needs to be adjusted are civil liberties. Okay, not civil liberties, but we're raising children. I got a child. In 2 to 4 more years, he's going to know what's going on. And my window to be able to instruct him to never even notice the recreational stuff will be depleted. And I won't be able to make the impact as a parent that I want to make. I want this discussion to be done. I want the ABC store to facilitate all clean, pure substances that are on the narcotics list. So at least our children aren't ODing from poison. Okay? Because it's not the amphetamines that kills them. It's the cut. Or the lack of sleep and proper nutrition. It's not the... I mean, you know, if we have it certified in the ABC store, all these substances, from the crack, the amphetamines, to the heroin, to the marijuana, and the alcohol, none of it will be poison. Okay? And there'd be, what? Like 60% less crime in the world? Now, the hemp plant, I think, is the key to repopulating the bee population. Or it's the ban on bee spray, one of the two. But we got to change what we're doing. And as I'm losing this window because this conversation is as real today as it was 20 years ago. And this child's window, I'm losing it. I don't want this discussion. I want it to be known as the rule of law just as much, and if not more, than Jeff Sessions. I don't want these little loopholes for these people to keep them in their industries. I don't want those industries ever again. Ever. Okay? There's that politician wave thing going on. But I don't want them loopholes anymore. I don't want the independent citizens that has a home to have to go out here and service people's salaries while his child doesn't have the proper shoes. I give the county $100. My kid needed a pair of shoes. I bought the county employees 2 pairs of shoes where I should have been getting my kid a pair of shoes. I did that one time. I'm behind. I'm getting squared up in the next couple of months, so don't get excited that I'm weak. I'm too good. And that's when it normally goes wrong. Is when you get your feet on the ground. Now it's a mindset, but still, relatively, I'm pretty firm in my surroundings. Pretty content. A nice warm shower and I'll be fine. But anyhow, if we move all this ability of these government employees across the nation, on town and county and state and federal level, that's 4 that just impact me. But there's 4 for every 50 miles across this country voting themselves more liberties with your liberties for their own self-securities, their perceived self-securities. But it's a bunch of garbage, and we need to stand by the fundamental rights. I mean, we're going to have to work through these state rights. No, we don't need state rights. We need individual civil citizens' rights, and we need champions for those rights. Okay, this is where it gets to substance. This is at 10 minutes. So I'm lost. Now I'm going to focus on my 10-minute mark. And I'm going to bring you to the policies that will better align civil citizens from cradle to grave. We're going to start off at 9 years old. Each child will get their personal snack card. Be called a snack card. It won't be called SNAP. It won't be called food stamps. I know all of this stuff. Okay? Apparently I know everything from disability people to the kids that don't get the food because the parents splurge, to single parents. I know how successful business people profit off of labor. I know how hospitality industries need to be hospitable and maintain nice environments. Construction, mechanics. I just got a pretty good concept. And what we got to do is get these kids their own cards so their parents don't neglect them. Just a little snack ring or something. It could be a ring. I'm surprised we don't have debit rings. I don't like rings. I don't wear rings. That's why we don't have them. I just can't stand a ring. Then we move on up. What else do we change? We put middle schools. Mandatory middle schools, because we got to defeat this learned behavior. Right? This bummer attitude. We got to get it out of the little one's way and let there be a gap between the little ones to the big ones to there, Stop allowing. I learned way too young, way too much of everything. So now I've been able to do good. Now, middle schools, and then we go up to 17, okay, like at 13, middle school, 17, able to cohabitate with their significant other, because them younger relationships are the most productive preparation periods. Ain't that where you impregnate whatever, raise the young child, whatever. We want to incentivize. That's why. This is the reason why they need to be adjusted and be incentivized to cohabitate at 17 and procreate and have children. This is why. First off, these liberties and stuff, if you want to keep the effects to a minimal, you want to encourage that kind of atmosphere and procreation before they are subjected to these substances. We got to phase it out. It's not just going to go away, this discussion. But we got to have it known. Then at like 23 or something, you can have substance. You can have alcohol. We got to move it up. You can have alcohol. If you're going to stay in school until you're 23, 24, we're going to move up the age of consent for alcohol. If you ain't out here producing commodities and independent from school, you do not get recreational substances. The urinals will flag you. Okay? That's where we're going with this. So at 23, you get the recreational substances. 2 more years after that, you get full liberties, which are enshrined in the Constitution. I got a phone call. We'll skip that for now. You get full recreational liberties. You get your full liberties that are enshrined in the Constitution of the United States, such as ability to possess, purchase, and own your own defensive preparations, so your weapons. I'm not going to say you can have a right to a gun. You got a right to explode. You got a right to anything that propels aggression as it's known to the human race. You have a right as an individual citizen to have armaments at your home substantial to any armed force. You have the right to defend yourself. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't have the right to defend yourself. And a gun is nothing but a tool. A knife, a club, a bat, a gun. Just different levels of tools. That's at 25. Then you go on up. Let's skip up to 35. Then you start getting dividends and stuff back because of your civil participation. At 35, you start getting what? Enough to buy a meal a day. Or should that? Well, I guess you get that at 9. So you get enough to buy 2 meals a day at 35. Then you move on up to 45. Get 3 meals a day. You get your dividends. We don't get dividends. We're not giving dividends. We're giving greater cost for insurance and some kind of orchestrated inflation to keep these people from 1941. We're just adjusting inflation to keep them on the front curve. It's very hard to start from nothing. That's why I'm in this house. Somebody realized that I had nothing. Alright. And he gave me this house. I didn't earn it. I lived out of a backpack. Well, I did earn it. But he gave it to me very good deal for very little labor during his departure. So anyhow, I did earn it. But I couldn't have earned it. Couldn't even got started after I was displaced from my community due to this construction of the forced government. That's what it is. It's a forced government system that we're living under, and we got to get right now where we can adjust our damn tax system. I just cussed. Why did I cuss? Talking to myself too much. Anyhow, I have to just refer you to old stuff. I mean, let's see, where were we? 35, and then at 50, then you become a teacher. You shouldn't be a teacher teaching even any of these kids older than 9 years old at all if you ain't up in your 50s. You shouldn't be an instructor at all. I don't like seeing myself on camera here today. Staying up every day with this fire has got me thinned down. You gotta get up every 4 hours with the fire all winter. Yeah, it is warm though. Anyhow, now we're up to date with Sessions and the conversation about states' rights. And I want to establish individual citizens' rights. And I can't do this all in one video because I keep losing my track. I guess after 20 minutes, even the presentator, the speaker, would have been tired. That's funny. Well, I don't know what more to do here.